Reborn, I'm done being a fool. I woke up gasping, my heart pounding like a drum in my chest. The world around me was different, familiar, yet wrong. The faded floral wallpaper, the creaky wooden chair in the corner, the old rotary phone on the table. This was my childhood home in small-town Indiana, circa 1995. I was 22 again, but I wasn't the naive girl I used to be. 30 years of pain, betrayal, and regret had carved wisdom into my soul. I'd been given a second chance, and this time, I wasn't going to waste it on a man who'd ruined me. My name is Emily Carter, and this is the story of how I broke free from the chains of a toxic love, rebuilt my life, and found the happiness I deserved. But it wasn't easy. The path was littered with lies, manipulation, and a man who'd stop at nothing to drag me back into his darkness. In my first life, I was head over heels for Ethan Brooks, the charming guy every girl in our dusty little town of Maplewood swooned over. He was tall, with sharp cheekbones and a smile that could melt hearts. I gave him everything me love, my dreams, my family's meager saving just to marry him. But that marriage was a living hell. Ethan treated me like a servant, forcing me to care for his disabled father, his blind mother, and his sickly daughter, Lily, while he pined for his high school sweetheart, Sophia Reed. My own family was struggling. Dad was in a wheelchair after a factory accident. Mum was losing her sight, and I was drowning under the weight of it all. I gave up college, my art, my future, all for Ethan. For 30 years, I slaved away, believing love meant sacrifice. But when Ethan died, he didn't even spare me a glance. He took his own life to join Sophia, his true love, leaving me with nothing but a bitter foster daughter who despised me. Lily, the girl I'd raised as my own, blamed me for stealing Sophia's place in Ethan's heart. Her final act of hatred, she yanked the oxygen tube from my hospital bed, spitting venom as I gasped my last breath. You don't deserve to live. But then a miracle happened. I opened my eyes, and I was back in 1995, the day I'd begged to marry Ethan. This time, I wasn't that lovesick fool. I saw him for what he was, a selfish, manipulative leech. I wasn't going to cry or throw a tantrum. Instead, I marched next door to find Jake Harper, the quiet guy who'd once promised to marry me when we were kids. Jake, I said, my voice steady, you said you'd marry me back then. Does that still stand? Ethan, meanwhile, had the nerve to think I was still his. He smirked, adjusting his worn-out glasses. Emily, I'll marry you, but you know my situation. My family's broke. No fancy wedding, no honeymoon. And you'd better bring a dowry, say, $1,000. My dad's got a bad leg, Mum's half blind, and Lily's always sick. You'd be lucky to get me. His arrogance made my blood boil. In my first life, I'd handed over every penny my family had, plus our TV, fridge, and sofa, just to please him. But now, I laughed in his face. Ethan, you're not worth a dime. Get out. He froze, stunned. You're joking, right? You've been obsessed with me since we were kids. I slapped him hard. I said, get out. Ethan wasn't just a jerk or a predator. He'd loved Sophia since high school, but she'd dumped him for a richer guy, leaving him bitter. After his first wife left him and Lily, he needed a new punching bag, and I'd been the perfect target. My blind devotion had made me easy prey, but not anymore. I remembered Jake Harper, the guy who'd always been there, quietly watching from the sidelines. In my first life, he'd never married. After my death, I'd seen his soul laid bare as he knelt at my grave, confessing his love. He'd spent years avenging me, exposing Lily's crimes and ensuring she faced justice. Then, he'd taken his own life, unable to live without me. That memory haunted me, but it also gave me courage. Jake was home that day, just back from his shift at the local factory. I grabbed his arm, my heart racing. Jake, I'm serious. Do you still mean what you said about marrying me? His eyes widened, but a slow grin spread across his face. Hell yeah, Emily. Let's do it. We grabbed our IDs and headed to the courthouse, my pulse pounding with excitement. But fate had other plans. As we stepped inside, I heard a familiar voice, Ethan's. He was there with Sophia, consoling her after her recent divorce. Don't cry, Sophia, he cooed. I'll take care of you. I'll marry someone else to handle my family, but you're the only one in my heart. My stomach churned. He was talking about me. He'd planned to use me as a maid while keeping Sophia as his mistress. I wanted to scream, but Jake squeezed my hand, grounding me. Ignore him, Emily. We're here for us. Ethan spotted me and smirked, chasing me to the courthouse. Ha! Fine, I'll marry you, but the dowry's $2,000 now. The clerk, a tired middle-aged woman, raised an eyebrow. Sir, she's not here for you. She's registering with Jake Harper. Ethan's face crumpled. No way. Emily's obsessed with me. She'd never pick someone else. I shoved the marriage certificate in his face. Read it and weep, Ethan. I'm done with you. He staggered back, tears welling up. You're making a mistake, Emily. You'll regret this. Jake stepped forward, his voice low and dangerous. Say one more word to her, and you'll regret it. Ethan didn't give up. The next day, he showed up at my dad's auto shop with a stack of photos. Mr. Carter, your daughter's a homewrecker. These prove she seduced me right after my first marriage. The photos showed me kissing Ethan's cheek while he was in a hospital bed. In my first life, he'd been injured in a bar fight and begged me to help him. I'd paid his bills and nursed him, thinking it was kindness. He'd asked for those photos as a memory. But now he was twisting them to blackmail me. Dad was livid, dragging me home and demanding I divorce Jake. Emily, how could you? I explained everything, how Ethan had manipulated me, how the photos were staged. Dad, I swear, I never betrayed anyone. Ethan's lying to trap me. Dad's face softened, but Ethan wasn't done. He spread rumors around town, calling me a slut who'd thrown herself at him. The gossip stunned, but Jake stood by me. I trust you, Emily. Let's clear your name. We tracked down the other patients from Ethan's hospital room. They confirmed I'd posed as his sister to care for him, and the photos were innocent. Armed with their statements, we reported Ethan to his boss at the factory. He was fired for slander and harassment. But Ethan's desperation turned dangerous. One night, he broke into my house while I was alone, his eyes wild. If I can't have you, no one will. He pinned me against the table, tearing at my clothes. I fought back, screaming, and managed to grab a pair of scissors. Get out, or I'll kill you. He laughed, unhinged. You don't have the guts. Before he could do more, Jake burst through the door, tackling him. The police arrived, and Ethan was arrested. Later, I learned he'd also attacked Sophia, locking her in his house and setting it on fire to fake an accident. He was sentenced to life in prison, his dreams of power and love reduced to ashes. With Ethan gone, Jake and I moved to Indianapolis with Dad. The factory where Jake worked was on its last legs, so he quit to join Dad's growing auto parts business. I threw myself into it too, using my knowledge from my first life to spot trends and invest wisely. By 2000, we'd built a small empire, opening our own factory and taking the company public. The stock soared, and we were set for life. Jake and I welcomed a son, Noah, who grew up kind and curious, free from the pain I'd known. Dad, now healthy and proud, often teased me about being the brains of the operation. For the first time, I felt whole-loved, respected, and in control. Ethan's family tried to latch onto us. His mother, Diane, and Lily showed up, begging for money. Ethan's gone, and we're struggling, Diane sobbed. Take us with you. I wasn't falling for it. You're not my responsibility. You can work and survive. Diane's mask slipped. You owe us. Ethan's dead because of you. I laughed bitterly. He made his choices. Live with them. Lily, only 8, tried to guilt me, but I saw the same cruelty in her eyes that she'd shown in my first life. When they staged a fake accident to extort us, I recorded their threats and called the cops. Diane was arrested for fraud, and Lily was sent to live with her grandfather. They never bothered us again. As I sit in our cozy Indianapolis home, Noah playing in the yard and Jake grilling burgers, I'm grateful for this second chance. I was a fool once, but never again. One chose myself, my family, and a man who saw my worth. Ethan's downfall was his own doing. A reminder that karma doesn't miss. What do you think? Was Ethan's fate too harsh, or did he deserve it? How would you handle betrayal and injustice in your life? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. Let's spark a real conversation about standing up to toxicity and fighting for what's right.